Hello again. This video's not to do with cruising. It's to do with safety, because I'm very strict on safety because of the working environment I used to be in, and I don't compromise on any of it. And we're going to talk about our fire. It's not a multi-fuel stove. You know, we've had them in the past. It's a diesel stove, but it's got safety things in it, what we wanted, and some don't have and some do. But I just want to show you what we did with the fire. We came here, the fire wouldn't work at all, which is unusual. When we had it all turned on, nothing was coming through. I thought perhaps I'd put my methylated spirits in, what I used to just light it, but instead of the flame taking and all that, it just slowly went out, even though I'd got everything turned on. And I thought, thermocouple, that's what was on a lot of boilers and fires, and that has gone faulty again because I've replaced it before. But no, it hadn't. It was something else called a thermoelectric valve. Yeah. I'll show you that in the video now. Without it, safety goes out the window, because you could have a fire or you could have diesel all over the boat, because it doesn't cut off when that valve's not working right. At first it was stuck in the closed position, wasn't working, and then when I put it, when I identified it and pressed it in again, it's stuck in the open position, which had another effect. So I didn't want to compromise, and I ordered a thermoelectric valve. In the meantime, while we was here in the colder months, we had our LPG central heating system blasting away to keep us warm, because we weren't using that fire till I've made it safe again. So I hope you enjoy watching this. It's what I did. I know you'll see the back of my head now and then, but it's just in the position it is. But it shows you how I check everything, because I did the regulator as well. I kept that clean and all that as well, and all my preparation and that is there as well. So rather than me continuing to talk, come along with us and see how we make a traditional looking diesel stove back to how it should be. So on with the video, and I hope you find it interesting, and I'll speak to you at the end. Before I do start, I'll just go down here. That is the problem. That's known as a thermoelectric valve, and that's the part I'm going to fit or replace, so we can get our fire working safely again. Now I'll definitely get on with things and just show you my preparation first of all, which is the most important part, because if you haven't got the right tools and equipment, then jobs can get very tedious. Well, these are some of the tools I'm going to use. I won't be using everything. I know for a fact that all that area will be left alone. It's these bits and pieces on this side that will be needed, and I've got all my other pieces there for completing the job and making it safe. Like I say, preparation most important. And now we're near the fire. I've put bin bags down, and I'll have to remove the stairs as well, which are here. They will be removed as well, and I'll put bin bags down there. That's because it's diesel, and diesel stinks, and I don't want it going on the woodwork. But my other tools are there ready, and just near the fire, that's a yogurt pot, and that's just to put any waste diesel. There'll only be a bit, I would imagine. Just pour it into there, and I've got the kitchen rolls to soak up anything, and I've got a couple of bin bags to put everything in. So I think the time has come to get ready to do the work. And just before I do start as well, you've just seen a bit of our chair there. I'll move that over as well. So I think it's time to get started. Now, first of all, before I do start moving the fire, I have a little cup like that. What's that for? Putting all my screws. Don't put them down and wonder where they are. You put them in something like that, and you know your screws what you take off the fire very safe and, more importantly, easy to find. Now I'll just get down here a little bit. Back here now. Before I start moving the fire, these plates are off. There's two, one on each side of the fire, and they are called access plates. They are taken off so I can gain access to the component I need to replace, or cleaning the regulator filter or anything like that. You need to take them off. So I've already done that. So I think it's time to actually disconnect the diesel and move the fire. Before we can do anything, I need to get that diesel disconnected at the back. Very careful as well. Just put the torch on so you can see. I've turned it off. You can see the handle's 90 degrees to the pipework, and I just have to disconnect the nut, and the fire then can be moved once I have removed the securing screws which are at the front. With it being a steel fire and not cast iron, it's a bit lighter, well, a lot lighter. So them are the two things I have to do first. When I move this fire, the flue, where it goes in the collar there, and at the top, which is accessible from outside, that will be disturbed. So if they're disturbed, I have got to make certain that I reseal them once the job's complete, so that me and Bernadette can sit here in complete safety. Right, just before I part it, I'll just put a couple of tissues, kitchen roll underneath. Will just be a little bit of residual diesel there. Right, time to put my gloves on. I don't want diesel all over my my delicate fingers. Right, what I talked about before was access plates, and there it is. Remove that one and the same on the other side. They'll go back on when I've finished, and you can see the diesel pipe there what I disconnected. So now it's job to start properly and remove the components and replace the faulty one. If you look inside there now, there's all these contraptions around and connections. That there is the faulty component which is allowing fuel to continually come through to the burner bowl instead of cutting off if the flame went out. So I will be replacing that,
And I'm pretty certain quite a few haven't heard of a soot scraper, and that's what that is. If you can see it there. The little hole what goes through to the bowl, eventually it gets coked up and that with soot and that cleans it. You don't have to do it often, but it's very handy. Now on with the job. The first part what I'll be removing is this here. That's what turns the regulator up and down, and it's just like a piece of metal what goes through with a round handle on top. What you press down, you lift up, and then you can see it moving. That turns it up and down to what height you want the burner to burn at, and then it goes down and off when obviously you turn it off. So that's the regulator there, and I have to remove that to get access to this. This piece here is the thermocouple, and this is what people have on boilers and, you know, or older boilers. This is where the heat, when I put the methylated spirits in and light it, the heat from that forms a very, very, should we say, low current, which holds a magnet in place in that valve. When it's pressed down, you see that there, like that, when that happens, at the moment it's stuck in the on position, and that needs to be altered, which we'll be doing. So I'll be taking that off, then I'll be taking the nuts off on them two and this one here to lift everything out, and I'll show you that when I've done it. Yeah, I do enjoy my fault finding, I really do, based on in my early career, well up to the mid-90s I think it was, with working in the gas industry. I used to do all this sort of stuff, obviously with gas, not diesel, but it's the same principle. It's always, even though I've used these before, there's me talking, it sounds like I'm not there, doesn't it? But I always have a selection of spanners to make certain I have the ones what fit. So we've got them all here, and I'll start off with the easy one first. I just need to disconnect this little this one first. This is what goes to the burner. Once it's cracked, it's not too bad then. It's always got to be careful when you're disconnecting and reconnecting nuts. You don't want anything cross-threaded or you ruin things. Right, that's off. So that, I think that'll have a little bit of diesel in. Not much. Not much at all. Just a fraction. So I'll just get my kitchen roll. Just wipe that bit up and put it in the bin. See, it's not much that. Less than I thought, really. I really do like, you know, we have a throwaway society, and we are lucky enough to be able to afford things what we want. But I get so much satisfaction from sorting out problems and keeping things, and this fire is too good to get rid of because it's absolutely brilliant. It's just built in such a really good way. I love it. Right, next, this part is being disconnected next. all done methodically, so it can all go back nice and easy. Right, so that's disconnecting now, as you can see, and that is the nut what holds it on, and that goes in my little pot. Now there is the regulator, and that's the piece what I'm taking off next. It's screwed on, but the first section is the split pin what holds the on-off, you know, the piece, I forgot what to call it now, but the piece what turns it on and off from the top. I'm doing that next. Shouldn't be too bad. I'll get a pair of grips on that and lift it out. That's the pin taken out, and that'll be going in my little pot now for when I reassemble everything. I'll now take that off completely. You can see I'll take that out. It slides up and out, as you will see. There you are. I'll put that to one side. Needless to say, I won't put it in my little pot because it won't fit. But I'll just put it to one side till it's ready to be reassembled. The next part what I'll be doing, just get in there so I can try to show you. It's not that easy. I'm trying to do it and show you as well. If you look carefully there now, that, like I say, that's the piece I'm replacing, but I have to take the regulator off, and it has two nuts, just has two nuts there, which they're a bit awkward to get to, but once broken I can undo them, and then we'll be getting there. Right, one of the bolts out here, obviously in the pot. Now on to the last one. Like I say, it is awkward. I could have removed the flue completely and took the fire out, but you're in a confined area in a boat, and if I can do everything all in a probably a 2 foot square area, do all the maintenance work and feel comfortable with it, then why not? Don't think this will be far off. Nut off in the pot. Right, so everything's ready to come apart, slowly but surely. Here we go. Whoops. Well, you probably didn't see much of that, but I've took it out. Like I've said in the photos I showed you previously, I took all this off, cleaned it all out, and I've not took these off because I don't need to, and that allows you to know that everything is in the same position when you put it back, and you're not trying to adjust it to the right place. But I will sort this out now, and then we'll start putting things back together. Very simply, the fuel comes in at the inlet, then fills the reservoir, but it can't go anywhere until the valve opens up and allows the fuel to flow around and down through the fuel filter and out to the fuel outlet. Very simple and reliable. Let's have a look. Just a little bit of diesel around, not much. Keep it clean, and then I'll clean it up a bit after as well. But yeah, I think I'll take this offending little bit of kit off and put the new one on.
Now, I've just spoke the biggest load of rubbish going there. I have to take them off, that and that, but I'll definitely put that one back on before I put it back in, because it's awkward, that one. That one's easy. But if I don't take them off, and obviously I can't replace that component. So I was being a bit silly there. So this will be coming off and that'll be coming off first. Dear me, Keith. Oh. Disconnected. They'll go on later. And I'm now glad I put my plastic covers down for these drips of diesel, because it absolutely hums. But there's only a bit in there, but there's a bit gone on the plastic. But soon sort that out. And here is your regulator. Now, if I tip that up, it'll all come pouring out, so I'll have to be careful. Now I'll be stopping for a minute because Bernadette's back, and I'll have to put the stairs back so she can come down, and then I will continue. But that's the component that I will be replacing, and I'll get on with it now. Yeah, it's a funny one, that, because it seems to work. If you look at that, that seems to work, but obviously the magnet in there is sticking. I could have replaced just the magnet, but I'm replacing everything, because it's better to do that than try to make a bodge job of it. Number one, get it in, make certain it's not cross-threaded, and then I can just tighten it up and start putting the jigsaw back together. And there we have the new one on. So I'll start putting things back together. Everything's in there now, it just needs connecting up. I'll try to show you in stages if possible. I know it may be difficult because the most important thing is for me to get it all put together safely. But you never know, you might see enough of it. So I'll do it in stages. Regulator back in position, the nut feeding the burner pot via the soot scraper connected up. Now to connect up the thermocouple, which is this. I'll connect that back up, then we'll turn the fire round, and this piece here will connect back up down here, and we should be back in business. What you didn't see, I was doing a bit of cursing there because it took a while for us to get them two nuts in, which I said were awkward, and get that nut screwing on without cross threading. But yes, I've done it, and that's the main thing. Right, let's continue. Thermocouple connected to the thermoelectric valve. That's the pin's gone through for the control valve on the regulator, and that's all ready to go as and when. Be nice to get warm again. Final connection made. Now it's just all getting the fineries put back together and making certain that the flue is sealed, and like I say, that keeps me and Bernadette and anybody on board safe when we have the fire on. Can't believe it, the sun is out. Anyway, as you can see, we've moved to the outside. I'm going to remove the flue and seal everything back to safety. You know, it'll be totally safe then. The stuff I'm using, I think I said it was 300 and odd degrees it could hold, but this is at the top of the boat. It's heat resistant to 275 degrees, which is ample. It's a silicone, you can see there, and it's horrible messy stuff, and it's bright red as well, but that's irrelevant when it's inside the flue. So I'll get on with that now and make certain everything's fine before it's time to light up again. I've cleaned it all up, and if you notice as well, the flue is completely clear. You don't get that if you've got a solid fuel stove and you're using wet wood, for example. That quite quickly goes smaller and smaller, the flue opening, full of creosote and tar and that. And the same goes if you don't have the flue the minimum recommended length. Some people put a piece on here, so the flue's only that high, but that means that the burning characteristics of the fire is incorrect. So again, that is unsafe, and you're going to get potential problems, not only to yourselves but the deterioration of the fire. But I've digressed a bit there. I'm going to put all the sealant, if you can see, in all the spot round there. It'll look bright red, but everything will be safe and secure then. So I'll get on with that and I'll speak to you in a minute. Well, I hope you can see that now. You can see all the red gunge, as I call it, but that seals the flue perfectly. And like I say, with it being resistant to heat at the top here and flexible, that's the other thing on a boat, flexible, that will remain safe and secure for many, many years. All I need now is just finish off the bits on top of the stove inside and we're done. We're up to the final little bit now, and I've just been using the hotspot fire cement up to 1500 degrees. This is for joints on stoves. It's no good if you've got a great big thick lump to put on, because it just can break off. But just inside the seal here, there's already rope packed in there from when it was installed, but I've put some, you know, belt and braces they call it. I've just put some sealant round there, which I'm going to let go off. Where you see the masking tape there, just that spot there, I will paint with the hotspot matte black paint, what's used on stoves, just to tidy it up. All resealed, and now it's been painted with the hotspot black heat resistant paint. I'm going to leave it there now. Then when I take the masking tape off, you'll hardly see anything. So quite simply, the job's done, and I'm very, very pleased, and so is Bernadette. Well, that's all fitted and working superbly again, and we know now we can have that on overnight feeling perfectly safe. We also make certain we don't compromise. We have high quality carbon monoxide detectors, and also we have decent, I've got one here because I put this one up as an extra one when we were using the fire. They're only small, these, and we like them rather than the big white ones, and you know, you don't see them, they don't hit you as much as in a boat. It's all right if your boat's white, but as we've got solid wood, we like to minimise things that are a bit garish, should I say. So that's the type of smoke alarm we've got. The carbon monoxide alarms you'll see in the video, and of course we have a 12 volt system what's permanently connected, what does the smoke alarm, the carbon monoxide, and also the gas. We've got gas sensors underneath the floor, you see, so if there's any problems, because LPG sinks, them alarms will go off and warn us. Now I'm lucky in the fact that I know all these things because of the industry I worked in for well, I worked all my life, but I did the manual side of things for a long time, 20 odd years, before moving on into the into other aspects of the gas industry, which I was in all my life. So I think that's about covered. Like I say, apologies for the length, but that's the way it is. So next time I think we're back to our cruising videos, and again he'll be in the better weather because that's when we filmed. But for now, as usual, keep safe, stay well, and we hope you join us on our next little video because we love doing them. Ta-ra!